I've already started putting this together so it wouldn't take up so much time since it's the same thing on each side or each piece here. But I did want to show you a little eye screw. And it actually has the threads in it just like a screw does. And I got them, I think years ago off of Amazon, and they're in a little spin thing in different colors of metal that came in real handy. Now polymer clay is soft enough that this can go into a side of it as long as it's thick enough, but it doesn't have to be really thin to get that little piece in. But one of the tricks is to drill a little hole, not deep, just enough, a pilot hole there, just enough to get the tip of your eye screw in and get it started. And I just dropped it. Here it is. Okay, make sure it's straight. You can see how thin that edge is. But just make sure you hold it straight. Add some pressure to it. Not a whole lot. Make sure it doesn't come through the back or through the front, so you want to make sure it's right in the center going down there. And if you hold your fingers there, you actually can feel it sometimes in there. And then I'll screw it until the screw threads are in the clay, and that's it. You don't have to glue them, you don't have to do anything. Now if you pre-drilled your hole and try to insert an eye screw that's this small, your hole may be too large for the threads to grip the polymer clay. So that in that case you can add some super glue in the hole as you're putting in your eye screw. Okay, this is the side that has a little heart, a blue bead, has two little flat spacer beads that are like flowers, and I put it together again, cutting the tip off of a eye pin. Just a flat tip, cut it off because this is a good sized wire to work with for this. So first off, I'm going to, well, let me show you a tool I haven't shown you yet. If you're going to do a lot of beading and making loops, a one-hole looper is a fantastic tool. And it saves your hands and stuff, but you got to make sure that your loops are closed up all the way. And I believe these come in 3 different sizes. Mine's a 1.5 millimeter. And you put your wire through, and because this is going on an end, I'm just putting the wire right here, well, a little bit longer. Okay, right there to give me a loop. And you just push them, and then when they're closed, there's your loop. So it's barely open. Well, yeah, it's barely open still. So I'm going to slide a little heart that I've already put my eye screw in. Let me open it up just a little bit. Now I just opened it a little bit. I'll slide my heart on, and then I'll close it right back up. Okay, and remember to keep your long piece straight. So then comes a little spacer bead, and my blue bead. And I have beads from everywhere, and not like Susan at Turtle Soup Beads, but I have quite a few beads. And I've made quite a few beads because there always seems to be not the color you're wanting to match up. So you know how that goes. Okay, so I have my heart on here, my spacer beads and my blue bead, and I'm going to pull them down and hold them. I'll take my one-step looper, and on this side there's a hole. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a hole right there. So you slide it through, your wire through, and take it all the way, and you make sure that, like for instance here, your spacer is right up against your one-step looper, and that your wire's coming out the edge, and as long as it is, it goes, you know, out there. That's what that hole's for. I'll remove my extra piece, and there's my loop. And I want to put this up here on this curved main part of the necklace. Make sure your heart's hanging the right way. And mine isn't. So let me turn it over. Now it is. And I'm going to go back through and tighten my loop back up. Just press it over and tighten it down to where it meets. Okay, I decided, I got out a bunch of beads to play around with what colors and what beads I was going to use. And I decided that I really liked the green area in here, and it's a couple in here. This is scraps from some sort of Skinner blend I was doing a big necklace on. So I thought, instead of keeping it all blue, let's add some green and pull in the green from these green stripes. And add the green into it. And there's some green stripes down in the heart as well. So again, I got my wire, and I'm going to repeat this part down here. These were the only two beads like this in my bag of Wonder and Glory from Fire Mountain Beads. And so I've saved them because I liked them and I thought they were pretty. And so I found them and oh, those two beads just may work with this. And I'm going to put this part on here. So let me close up this loop. And I will put one of my little silver heart beads on. And my green stripy one. And I think I want this stripy green down at the bottom. It didn't have as definite stripes in this one as the other one did. But I guess beggars can't be choosers, huh? Put my piece on there. And get my one-step looper again. And hold the side of it down to the last of that heart bead. Put this on and close her up. all I have to do now is hook this one to this one. Let's see if I left that one open. No. So let's open this loop back up. Make sure I've got them hanging right. Close this loop back up. Get these out of the way. Now, let me move out so you can see all of it. You can see all these beads I got out to play around with the collars to go in here, and I thought, no, I wanted this a little bit more chunky looking. And I then remembered I had a filigree this is actually a filigree tube bead that we use in memory wire bracelets. So it didn't have a way to hang it from, but I could run a cord through that. So I'll show you how to do this some other time, but I took actually a 22 gauge wire and made my loop and wrapped it. And then I wrapped my bead. I wrapped it up and looped it, wrapped it back down, and looped that wire because I had taken my wire and folded it in half. And then I ran it through the center, and I just did another loop wrapped up on top. So this is how the top of this will look. And there'll be either cording or wiring coming out of here. And we'll get into these beads and doing that next time. I guess I should go back out and show you these beads. We'll be using these beads and things and anything else I can find to make the necklace part of this. But this is what I've got out to play with so far. This is really simple as well. I have my focal pendant, which was just scraps. It's got deep shine on it. Always sign your work. I'm Apples, and I have Apples everything. This is a little Apple stamp that I just stamp on the back of things. We're going to use a pinch bail with this one. And this has deep shine on it. And your pinch bail has two little prongs that goes through your hole. Let me hold on to it. Okay, I've got both my sides down. Now you can use your chain nose pliers, but you've got to be careful when you go to squeeze your pinch bail closed, because this metal can mar up the pinch bail when you squeeze it. And it just fell out, so, I mean, this is a tiny pinch bail. I'm going to use the silicone rubber tip ones. And if you don't have them, you don't, I mean, they're not necessary if you don't make a lot of jewelry. They're just helpful to have around. And you just gently squeeze your pinch bail closed. And those little prongs went in your hole. We'll out, make sure that's in there. And the only thing I'm going to add to this is a necklace cord that you can buy. Several places has them. Amazon has them. They come in all different colors. And with little projects like this, they're very easy to use. But I'm going to need a jump ring that is large enough to hold for this chain and this end to go through. And this one happened to work. So let's do a little trick about jump rings. I use the curved pliers, and you do not pull out. You twist it front to back. And you put your jump ring on the end of your bail, and to close it, you do the same thing, all in reverse. You bring them back together, pass the ends over each other a little bit, bring it back, and you can hear a click. Now when you hear that click, that means those jump ring ends are touching flush with each other, and they won't open back out. Then you take your end of your cording and put it through your jump ring. Without twisting it up. And hook the end of it. And here's this necklace finished, and it was that easy. So you don't always have to have a huge hole and jump rings and stuff at the top of your cabochons when you're doing, well, earrings or anything. You can use pinch bails on earrings as well. And the cords are quite cheap, or at least they were several years ago when I bought a bunch of them. And I think I got them off of Amazon. So here's another little simple one. Because I don't know how long all my little segments are that I'm going to put together into one video, I didn't want to make this one too long, but I wanted to show you, this is just scraps again, probably from these same blue ones. And I did a butterfly with a butterfly silicone mold. You can get those at tinypandora.com, I do believe. And I put a purple Inca Gold over top of that. Just rubbed it on there, and then I put a, actually it's Christy Friesen's Glamour mica powder on the bottom. And then I set the 3 rhinestones in it. In the center, and you can get all sorts of rhinestones and gem sticky and everything to put them together with the Tiny Pandora. But what I wanted to show you, this also came in my grab bag thing from Fire Mountain Gems. And it's a pinch bail, but it's big. And this piece needed a big top on it. So I'm going to put this pinch bail on there. And there we have the pinch bail. Okay, it's connected. It's not going anywhere. And I do like the fact that it's moving. But anyhow, we'll get into what type of necklace we're going to put on this. I think it may have to be a little bit sparkly. And guess I'll be getting out some sparkly beads and gems and some more blue stones and beads that I can find. So this is the end of the easy peasy part of series 1, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've learned something. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below the video or PM me. I'll answer your questions with no problems at all. And next time we'll get into using beading wire. We're going to use crimp beads and crimp covers and guide wire loops that are like little horseshoes that help protect your wire. We'll get into how you do that, and we'll get into a little bit more things. So pick out, I seem to have a color theme going on, or when I have a lot of scraps left over, I make a lot of things to use up the clay, because I'm more apt to use the clay if something's cut out and then it just sitting there, although I use that clay as well too. But let me know what you want to see, and I hope you enjoyed this one. Blessings.